Drizzy and T-Money blasting off the map. Mic check one, we igniting the chat. Big thoughts, big laughs, real talk on tap. From the stars to your ears, it's a certified slap. We break limits, no rules, no fear. Dropping gems every week, loud and clear. Vibes interstellar, mind so clever. Tune in once, you'll be hooked forever. This the blast off, where the wisdom collide. Rocket fuel flow, let the convo ride. From the cosmos down to the city stride. Every episode another joyride. Catch the wave, let the banter take flight. Brainstorm sparking through the depths of night. Underdogs talking, put the world in sight. All killer, no filler, just truth in the mic. Zone out, let the speakers combust. In a convo with hosts you can trust. Groundbreaking spins, no fine gold dust. It's a must, turn us up, adjust. This the blast off, where the wisdom collide. Rocket fuel flow, let the convo ride. From the cosmos down to the city stride. Every episode another joyride.
Don't sneeze on me.
Sorry, T-Money.
Get the hell out of here, Drizzy.
Okay. Welcome back to the Don't Sneeze on Me podcast. What up, T-Money?
How's it going, Drizzy?
It's going pretty good this week. How are you?
Not doing too bad. It's been very, very busy with my my work because of the gas fluctuations.
Oof.
But thankfully, since I've set up all these spreadsheets in the past, I'm cruising right now. So
There you go.
I'm actually it wasn't as bad as a week ago when I had a little bit of an issue, and I kind of had a freak out with my boss. But
Yeah. Well,
he understood because I was under a lot of pressure.
The waters have settled.
Sometimes pressure gets to me, but
It
I usually come through it stronger on the end.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you navigated those rough waters.
Hey, rough waters. How was your Easter?
Easter was good. It was, it's spring break week this week, so we're doing a bunch of camps and stuff. But yeah, a nice holy weekend. How was yours?
Not too bad. We had a nice family dinner and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
we were. It was nice. Easter is kind of like a small holiday, so we don't really go crazy for it. But
Yeah.
I think the one Easter news I heard from you is something very interesting your son said.
Oh. Ooh. Yeah, no longer believes in the Easter Bunny.
No longer believes that a giant mutant bunny
He
comes
said
here
to
and
me-
leaves you eggs with candy.
And I
in it.
mean, I knew it was coming. I'm not, surprised at all. My daughter just told me, a month ago that she doesn't believe in it. So I knew, well, I'm shocked you still do. But, when she told me, I was like, okay, he's going to be right behind her. And he goes, Mom, do you really think I believe in a mythical bunny that hops around and leaves baskets?
So let me ask you this: did you still do an egg hunt?
I did an egg hunt around the house, but they
Okay.
knew it was me.
Okay.
So, because I was like, you know what? You're right. And I said, Instacart delayed my order. So the Easter Bunny, a.k.a. me, is late with the egg hunt. So this is what we're doing.
That's fine. I mean,
Absolutely.
you know what you should do is every year make it really, really hard, like harder than the year before.
Well, I found 3 eggs since they left.
I mean, that's your candy,
I
your
was like,
candy,
well,
your
it's-
money,
I
whatever.
actually didn't get the I did some candy eggs, but not
Okay.
all of them. It's a bunch of little fidgets and stuff. But I found 3 eggs in the past couple days. I was like, oh, there you are.
See? Yeah, that's how creative and secretive you are.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it was good. It was good. So next year I look forward to actually having them on Easter again and,
Nice.
doing the whole church thing and all of that, doing the
Yeah.
Easter service and everything because I enjoy doing that with them. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think talking about that allows us to get into our weekly topic because it's a little risque,
Oh,
as
is
you might say. But
it?
we're gonna talk about religion
Yeah.
because
Specifically the Bible.
yeah, things that
Some areas of it, but religion in general and
we're not here to criticize anybody's faith, but we are going to talk about things that just don't really make that much sense.
yeah.
So, one of the things that I thought was really interesting was, early Christianity, because there are a bunch of different texts that floated around. The Bible that we have today is not the Bible that they had, 1,000
No.
years ago.
Well, they assembled basically all the books together to make the Bible. So it's like they took all these books from all different places and made it into something like a historical timeline, essentially.
So with that in mind, it really makes you think about, well, what was left out, because what
Mm-hmm.
did they picked and chose what was going to be put into
Yep.
here.
It was the church leaders at the time that got to like
So
pick and choose.
so that makes me wonder, well, what did they not include?
Yeah.
Because
What's the Bible missing
and
that
why,
would complete the story maybe?
but also, and here's a question, why are you not letting us know it?
Yeah, why is it secretive? Why are these books not like released? You know what I'm saying? Why is there not like a fully released Bible,
Yeah.
you know, that
I
has
mean,
all the books included?
wouldn't it make you more of a believer if you knew the entire story than bits and pieces of it?
Yeah, I think so. I would love to
I
hear it,
agree with that. I
you
think
know.
I think it's, I mean, the one thing that I really thought was interesting when we did some research on this was that there was this Council of Nicaea, and it was like a big meeting that happened in 325 AD,
Hmm.
and it's where all these Christian leaders came together, sorry, and to settle an argument about who Jesus was, and basically the Bible. Like, so people chose what to believe and then pass that on as faith.
Hmm.
And it's like, so I'm believing what they're believing because they said this is what's true. I mean, that's no different than today's politics. That we're going to tell you what is true and you have to believe it. How about you just tell me the whole story and then I'll choose what I believe?
Yeah, I mean, they were like trying to decide if Jesus was created by God or equal to God. And at the end, they actually decided that Jesus was equivalent to God. And they wrote this down in a specific creed that they had created. But I think it's so interesting that they decided like Jesus isn't maybe created by God, but equal to.
So that contradicts some of the stories that I heard when I was growing
Mm-hmm.
up, because
Yep.
I heard that Jesus was the Son of
Yep.
God, not that. So yes, close to equal, but not equal.
Not
Like
equal.
God was a step above him.
God's the Almighty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like God put His power into Jesus, but it's like they say, like the master doesn't always teach the Padawan, everything,
Yeah.
because then they know everything. So I hate to use it like that, but I mean that's really what if any of us are Star Wars fans, that's exactly what they say in Star Wars. I hate to bring it back to that, but that's kind of what we're going with.
Yeah, but I mean, like the whole thing, it like stopped a major argument, and unified a church as a whole. So it's like it unified a belief through the church, that Jesus is God, and that's something as well that people do say, like Jesus is God. So because he's the Son of God, he also is God.
So now, does that make you think that they are trying? It seems like they're trying to make you believe that certain parts more than other parts, which I don't understand. It's like, what? Why?
Well, I think
Why?
certain books are definitely pushed a lot more, and certain books are a lot more popular in the Bible
Yeah,
for sure, and definitely like quoted a lot more and highlighted.
I mean, and that's what makes me wonder. Like I said, I mean the whole story of Adam and Eve is the apple was the apple of knowledge,
Hmm.
and it's like that's getting us allowed eating that allowed us to have free will and free thinking and stuff like that. So it's if that is part of the story, then basically these free thinkers are telling us what to think. If you really think about it like that, I mean that's really the way we're going about this, is that somebody else is telling us what the truth is instead of
Yeah,
us
they're
just being
dictating the
told.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of like allowing us to read through all of it and pick and choose or whatever. No, they're picking and choosing for us rather than giving us all the information.
Which
Spe-
makes people doubt. I mean, I can
yeah.
understand why people would doubt.
Well, speaking of that information that's missing, there are like quite a few like lost books and like books that haven't been published in the Bible. Um, the first one that comes to mind is the Book of Enoch, um, also like known as the Wild One,
Hmm.
and this is a book about angels coming to Earth and having children with humans.
Hmm.
That's what created giants.
Hmm.
So it's the stories about giants that we've heard about. And it's basically they came and taught humans forbidden knowledge.
Well, I mean, so I'm a big Discovery person.
Mm-hmm.
I watch Discovery
Oh
and
yeah, I
ancient
know. We talk about it way too
ancient
much.
aliens and stuff like that.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I believe in that stuff, and you may call me naive or whatever, but I always but I've heard of Enoch. Now Enoch is the great grandfather or grandfather. Now I mean maybe mistaken of Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And Enoch basically, as you said, was, he was like they called him the enlightened one because his skin glowed and like it was like he was pale and stuff. It was and like one of the stories they talks about is being taken up in a spaceship
Mm.
and seeing the world, like the actual world we live on from space. Like it's a stories like that. And the so you were talking about the giants. The so in the book of Enoch, they're called Nephilim, and these are, they're all different sizes. I mean, there's giants that are 300 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
They document this.
Yep.
And as much as the governments of this world, and I'm sorry, they are hiding information
Oh,
from us,
so much
but
information.
they try to hide that they've dug up giant, you know, skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these museums have these skeletons in their possession,
Yep.
and they hide it from us. Don't hide the information if you want me to believe.
Yep.
If there were giants, okay,
Well,
that's
they don't.
part of the
That's the thing.
story.
They don't want us to believe. That's why they. That's why they take it out. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a plethora of other reasons why they chose not to include it. But if they wanted us to believe, it would be in there. They don't want us to believe. Hence why they hide the bones. Hence why they hide the evidence. They don't publish the stories. Things
So
like that.
so honestly, that's what makes people doubt, that the full spectrum. It's like I don't listen. I'm not one to say that I know everything that has gone on,
Mm-hmm.
in history, but I do know that there are parts of our history that just don't make sense. I mean, the pyramids, something seems off about that. The
Yeah. Oh
the
yeah.
the Sphinx, something seems
Oh,
off
there's
about
so
that.
many things.
I mean, don't hide the truth from us if you want. Like, I think you would gain a plethora of followers if you told us everything,
Honesty. Honesty.
because
Oh,
people respect that more. I mean,
yeah, yeah. But I mean, the government is not honest. But we're not talking about the government today. We're talking about the
the
Bible.
Bible.
But what's interesting, though, I think about the Book of Enoch is that, essentially, like angels came down,
Mm-hmm.
they had kids
Mm-hmm.
with humans, made giants, and they're just like, yeah, let's get rid of this story. It's out of here.
Well, I
No big
mean,
deal.
I said, and in the Bible, what happens to the world that is unfit?
Mm-hmm.
God floods it.
Yep.
I mean, the flood is documented in so many different biblical stories, not
Yeah.
only Christianity, but I mean, it's documented in Hinduism. It's
Many
documented
different
in,
references.
yeah, it's
Yes.
documented in so many, like as you said, references that not everyone's going to have the same exact story,
Yeah,
but
no.
this story seems to be exactly the same that goes around the world.
Well,
And one of the the biggest things. So I want, as I said, we were talking about Discovery.
mm-hmm.
There's a show that I watch, and unfortunately the show name skips my mind right now. But he's an explorer. He's a urban explorer, and he goes all over to all these countries that you would never go to.
Okay.
He went to Ethiopia,
Mm-hmm.
made friends with some of the locals, got really familiar with them, and they started introducing him to things around the country, and they took him to what they call the original Bible room.
Oh, wow.
And when he walked in there, there was a Bible. There's our Bible, yeah,
Mhm.
a couple, thick
Yeah,
chapters,
but are you talking about the one that's like real thick?
where he said it
Yeah,
was like twice as thick
heard of that.
as our Bible, and it's called the Ethiopian Bible, and it has
Mhm.
every chapter in there. The Book of Enoch, what we're going to talk about coming up, the Book of
Yeah,
Giants, all these other things, and they let you know it.
yeah,
They want you to know because they want your faith.
yep. And it's accepted in
Yeah.
Ethiopian Christianity still, which I think is amazing. I think it's just a level of transparency that's provided.
And that's the transparency I think everyone wants.
I think so too. I don't want to be dictated what to believe and what not to. Like we're told that every part, if we're going to believe one part of the Bible, we need to believe
Believe all
every
of
part
it.
of the Bible. So then don't remove parts of the Bible that are just as important.
I mean, they said the Vatican has the full Bible, but it's in their
I
archives.
would love to really like
Oh my God! Could you
dive
imagine
in.
all the things you would find out if you went into the Vatican archive?
I don't know if I want to.
And you would find out
I think I want to stay in my
some pretty
bubble.
messed up stuff, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that you would probably find out things that you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, you
Like,
mentioned a minute ago the Book of Giants,
hmm,
and that's basically just like the sequel to the Book of Enoch.
mm-hmm,
Like it's like they call it the sequel nobody talks about, like hidden. Then that is talking about the giants and
yeah,
stuff that they came
the
down and
Nephilim,
created.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because it's not only documented in these books, it's documented on like not cave walls, but I mean like hieroglyphics. I
Hmm.
mean, where they call this stuff out. I mean, I mean, if you ever heard about what's the famous story where it's where he throws the stone and he hits the
David and Goliath.
David and Goliath.
Hmm.
That's a real story, and they
Yes.
actually found pottery
Hmm.
with Goliath's name on
They
it.
said there's like, yeah, some actual tangible proof. And they say a lot of the stories in the Bible, there is true
Yeah,
historical evidence
absolutely,
of these things happening and true historical evidence of all these locations having existed and all of that, which I think is like mind blowing. So if this stuff is true,
why hide it?
why not tell us all of it? Like let
Let
us
us
know.
determine what we want to
The
believe. Like,
books were written for a reason.
I mean, it really is interesting when you hear that how much is really, the sheepskins put over our
Hmm.
eyes, and it's like that's why you have people that just don't have that faith anymore, that don't have that
Yeah.
religious background. It's like because we don't know everything that's
We don't know
happening.
all the truth. If we knew all of it, we could make our own decisions a lot more wisely, I suppose.
Absolutely.
But I think it's funny though in the Book of Giants, it a lot of it is about the giants envisioning their own downfall
Mm.
and really like having dreams and visions of that happening, which I think is just so interesting. So, and I think that it kind of aligns with where we're at now in society, to be honest, because there's so many people that have like dreams and predictions of
Oh yeah.
of our
Well,
downfall as
some
a
of them are scary.
society that are very scary, and
I mean,
we
you.
see things are not good right now,
I mean,
but
the thing that I thought was interesting with the Book of Giants is, when we did research on it, is that, some of these stories that you read about, the
mhm.
Giants weren't always bad.
No, no, they were not.
They were
They were
actually
just
so,
part of
yeah.
society.
So I mean, there. No, I'm not gonna say there weren't some bad ones. I mean,
Of
there were some that were
course.
like carnivores and like
Yes.
cannibals and
Well, there's the different like
yeah.
sects essentially of
But
giants.
some of them, I mean, there's a I watched a Discovery documentary about Goliath who said that like he actually helped like get roads made
Hmm.
and buildings built and stuff like that. It's like things that like society needed. He helped with because he was gigantic.
Yeah,
But
used his
those
size
yeah,
to the benefit of society.
but those the but those stories don't get told.
Yeah,
It's
that's so
it's
interesting.
it really is. I mean, if you really do
What they like
research
pick
on
and
it,
choose.
yeah,
Yeah,
what they decide, oh, we're not going to to let you know because your mind is too young for that information. You know something? Tell me it all, and I'll let you know what I believe.
yeah.
Well, I
My
mean,
oh,
go
go
ahead. I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, the one book that I think I'm most fascinated about,
I think I know
and
what you're gonna talk about.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
go
I
ahead.
really want to dive into this more actually, and like I would
I
love
want
to
to
do
do
a
my
lot more
own personal.
research.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, is the Gospel of Thomas, and Thomas is known as the philosophical one.
yeah.
Um,
This was one that I when we did research on this, I was like, I want to know more about this because I
yeah.
feel like I fall into this category. I hope it is not blasphemy, but more than a Jesus category.
Well, what I like about this is that it's not story. It's not a story like the other books. These are teachings directly from Jesus. So much more impactful. They're messages like directly from Christ himself about, life and how to live and giving that guidance and things. So you're not getting a story, you're actually getting direct guidance, and so much of it is about looking within yourself
Oh yeah,
and finding true understanding, not just blind faith, which that's what I think is amazing.
and that's I think what everybody needs. I mean, the one key example that I read, and it was like a key phrase. It was like, the kingdom of God is within you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I read that, I was like, wow, that's like saying that, like, they're like like heaven and hell, they're not above you, they're not below you,
No.
they're within you. Your
Mm-hmm.
soul is God. Your soul is, Satan. Your soul is all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when you leave your bodily vessel, your soul goes somewhere. I don't know where it goes. I mean, hopefully it goes up, but I
Yeah.
mean, you know, but it's within you. It's like looking within yourself, and it's like that kind of reminded me of like meditation and
Mm-hmm.
like finding one. Like,
Yeah.
like
Like
how the
what you're searching for is already within you.
yeah, like, I mean, I know Buddhism is a totally different religious, part of this, but I mean, when they say like they find enlightenment, like maybe that's what Christianity is. Like, you have to find your enlightenment, which
Mm-hmm.
is your soul. Like, that's something like so interesting that, like, you're, like you said, like, you don't need to search for it. It's you.
Yeah.
You're the enlightened one. Like,
Yeah. I mean, like so much of it in the book is about like self-awareness. And I think maybe that book should be included, especially with the way that mainstream Christian culture
Oh yeah,
behaves. I think there
absolutely.
does need to be a lot more self-awareness when you come to the stereotypical mainstream Christian behaviors. Um, that's just from my experience. But one of the there's some phrases from the book that I really just connect with and think are really powerful. And one that I love is like if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. And it's
Hmm.
basically like your growth comes from inside, not outside. Looking for the intrinsic motivations, not the external motivators. You're not looking for external rewards. You're looking for finding that within yourself. I think that's amazing and powerful. And that's something that people should hear and should
Hmm.
listen to and should be taught.
Well, I mean, that's like kind of like what, I've heard this when I've gone to church. Is they say when you die and you're in front of, the kingdom of heaven,
The
they ask
pearly
the
gates.
pearly gates, and they ask you the questions, what is the meaning of life? And it's like, your answer, like, there is no right answer there.
Mm-mm.
It's what
I don't think there
what
is.
your answer is.
Mm-hmm.
They want to hear what your answer is. And when I was doing research in all of this, the one quote that really stuck out to me was, the one who seeks should not stop seeking until they find.
Mm-hmm.
Keep questioning, don't settle. And that is brings me right back to the Adam and Eve story. It's like knowledge, expanding your knowledge, expanding oneself, becoming a person that is, you don't only help people, you help yourself become better. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not only bettering others, you're bettering yourself. And that is something that I was like, like I said, I really enjoyed doing the research on this episode because it really kind of brought me back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wow, it's like there is a lot more here that we don't know, that I feel like we should know,
Yeah.
especially in the 21st century. Like, we've gotten to the point where, we're beyond knowledge. We're at AI knowledge at this point.
Gosh.
I
Yep.
mean, maybe having a little self-awareness would help with the AI knowledge,
Not such
because
a bad
we
thing.
might destroy ourselves.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's interesting because in this book, it's like Jesus is much less of a miracle worker
mm,
because he's in that kind of that teacher mode, I suppose, and um, much more of a spiritual leader or
yeah, like
guide.
like a guide. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and I think that's what.
Like really, kind of makes me think of like more philosopher even
Yeah,
with these type of teachings. So I love that it's a different take, and that's
be,
why it's so intriguing.
because when you hear Jesus, like, you hear like, oh, he helped the blind see.
Mm-hmm.
He turned water into wine. It's like things that you could
But
never.
what did he teach people to be better?
Yeah, it's like, but like you said, you could never do that. Like,
Yeah.
but a person who can teach you and guide you to be
Mm-hmm.
spiritually strong, it's like that's something that you can not only learn but pass on.
Yeah.
And I love that. I was I mean, honestly, I was sucked into
Yeah,
to
no,
this
I
research.
love this one, and
I was
I think you and I should just research this so much more, because it really gets me thinking a lot, and it's fascinating because like this should be something that's included in religion is like being an intrinsic thinker and like thinking about yourself and having that self-awareness. So why does this feel so much less like religion and more just like self-awareness and like mindset change? I feel like they should be much more closely connected and not feel so disjointed.
well, it's like you're telling me what to believe instead of allowing me what to
Mm-hmm.
believe, and it's like I think that's why people push back on it so much. Is like they feel like it's forced instead of opening yourself up to wanting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's kind of like in school, like when they would force it down your throat, you didn't learn it. But if it was a subject that you were really interested, like
Oh, you knew
I
every
yeah,
little bit of
I
it.
love science. I love biology the most.
Yeah.
I knew everything about
Hmm.
biology because it made sense to me. I could connect the dots. But it's like if you can't connect the dots, you lose interest in
Yeah.
it. I mean,
You have
and
to
I-
have a
and
personal connection with
and
it and
unfortunately
interest.
today, attention span
Ugh.
is slim to
2
none.
seconds.
So I
Goldfish.
mean, that's why like 2 minute ads, and that's how much as you get from a
Oh,
person. It's like, and that's even a lot.
that's even too much. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh gosh.
So I mean, like I think that's what I think religion is missing now is like you need to be able to teach people how to
Quick
do this in an
hitters.
everyday method. Like
Yeah.
use this when you're at work.
Tangible
Use
methods to integrate religion into daily life.
Exactly. I mean, like, listen, it's getting warm out. I'm gonna be getting golfing with my dad and people. It's like when I shank a ball, use this. The next time I don't want to shank that ball. Like, I mean,
Is that how we're
yeah.
using
Well,
religion?
sometimes you pray for that hole in one. I mean, that's what you got
Hmm.
to do here. Sometimes. I mean, I've never gotten one, so obviously my prayer has been unheard. But I mean, I'm getting
Yeah, I think
closer.
you're praying on the wrong things,
Yeah,
and your priorities are a little
yeah, a
skewed. But
little skewed right now. But I mean, listen.
yeah, but there's I think there's many more stories that are just not included, and so much information that we're left out of, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's like probably quite a few reasons too. Like there's got to be reasons. Like the biggest reason I think is they want a unified message through the Bible. They want it to be consistent. So Jesus is the miracle worker and this and
Hmm.
that. Like they want to take it away from him being, the philosopher, and like he still is. There's
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
stories about him and his teachings and everything in the Bible, but
You,
they're always integrated with the element of something
but
else.
you want to know something? I feel like they harp on the miracle part of Jesus more than they harp
Hmm.
on the philosophy. Like,
Yeah.
because
Well,
like you said,
sometimes it depends.
like I said,
Depends on who your pastor is.
I mean, true. I mean, like I said, I mean, I used to when I was a regular at church. I will
Hmm.
say I'm not a regular as much as I used to be, but when I was a regular there, I mean, it to me it felt like he Jesus's teachings, like he would do this and that and that, but he would also heal the blind
Yes.
and like you
Make
do
miracles
like
happen
it's
and
like it's
water
like
into
yeah
wine and
it's like how about you tell
yeah.
us a little bit more about his teachings, like what he did, like expand upon it. Like I have a great pastor. When I go there, I love listening to him because he well, first off, he's Scottish, so he has a nice Scottish accent, so it makes
Soothing to the soul.
yeah, it makes it seem like more like medieval. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I'm like sitting, like especially on Christmas when they have like all the candles lit, I feel like I'm in a medieval castle.
Special.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like it's
Ooh,
when
Christmas in
they
Scotland.
when they get the organ going, I'm like, give me a glass of wine. I need to
Yeah.
sit here.
Of
It's like
glug.
yeah, exactly. Give me a nice one. But I mean, at the same time, it's like those stories I think would allow people to bring that into their daily lives. I
I think
mean,
so too.
consistency. I mean, having structure around it. I mean that is something that people look for, but also push back against a little bit because you know you don't want religion to become too organized, like a
No,
business.
but that's what it is though.
But
But
it's
that's why there is structure though, because religion is organized.
but I think like organized like like a business is not how a religion should be done.
No, I
It's
agree
like,
with
and
you, but that's how it is.
that's how it is, and that's what I don't like about it. Is like like these mega churches
Mm-hmm.
where they're
Tithe
where
all your
yeah.
money.
Yeah, where it's like like I've seen so many videos of pastors being like, if you don't give me $1,000
Mm-hmm.
today, Jesus will not hear your prayers.
Yeah, and
Excuse me?
that's not a common thing, but
I get that,
but
but
it's
I
just the
mean,
mindset of like if you don't give, like you're not good
yeah,
enough, you're not a member of this church or anything. I had recently started going, like, tried a new church, and I don't mind them asking for a tithe. It's like if I can give, I will. Like if I feel it in my heart to give, then I will. But like I don't feel obligated to
Mhm.
tithe normally. But then this church that I went to, they like I felt like they really like
Pressured you. Yeah.
pressured you, and I was like, no, and I didn't feel comfortable. I did not feel comfortable tithing, and I understand why. They were in the process of growing to a new church, but I love that for you all, but I'm not here to fund that.
Mhm.
Like
Exactly.
I can't. I'm a single mom of 2 kids with bills to pay. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying? Like
when you
I
see
can
these
only do so
pastors
much.
flying in private jets and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
don't
like
come in here with like
don't
designer clothes on
or
and I'm
a $30,000
and I'm
watch.
shopping at Walmart. Like
Exactly.
don't even like you can
Like
tithe on my behalf.
if you wanna do a collection and you wanna help the people of your congregation, I'm all
Yep.
for that.
Yep.
Help the people that are struggling, the people that maybe the husband lost his job and he needs a little they need a little extra money. Do that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
don't be like, "Oh, we can't be taxed, but I have 2 private planes."
Mhm.
Like that's not religion to me. That's a business. Now, that is what I have problems. Like I'd rather see you take that money and, you know, clothe the clothless, feed the
Mhm.
hungry, like do something, worthwhile. Like my church was infamous for doing uh like a church retreat where they built houses and stuff like that. Like
Oh, that's cool.
give
Like really
back,
helping the
like stuff like
community.
that. Like do stuff like that, like renovating
Mhm.
a hospital floor or something like that, or something like where homeless stay, like renovating, like you're giving back. So I don't mind funding that kind of stuff
Yeah.
because it's like when I can. When I was out of a job, no, I
No,
couldn't.
then I
But
can't.
but it's like if
Priorities.
I can give you, but remember, there's a lot of stories of people coming up with, like handfuls of rice and just showing that they're giving something. It's
Yep.
like that is an offering. You're
Mhm.
offering what you have, but don't be putting the plate in front of my face and being like 20s only. Like
Yeah, no. No, you
it's
can't pick and choose your
if I
offerings.
can give you $1, I'll give you $1. It's
Yep.
like that's how it works.
Yeah.
But it really is. Religion. That's where I deviate when it comes down to where I feel like it goes from business to actually spiritual guidance.
Mhm.
Like spiritual guidance is what I look for. I don't need, but I shouldn't have to pay for it. It should be spiritual guidance is free.
Yeah. I mean, faith might be spiritual, but religion is also infrastructure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
So there's
absolutely.
a huge, difference between the two and how they run.
Mm.
Well, one thing I want to talk about, and I don't know if you've heard of this, and I just want to talk about it because I lived in the area. My ex-husband worked at the school and just a lot of close connections with the school itself. But are you familiar with Liberty University?
I am not.
Okay, so it is a very big Christian university
Okay.
in Lynchburg, Virginia. And
Oh,
it's
you lived in Virginia, right?
yes, I did. So my ex-husband worked for the school.
Okay.
Um, and it was founded by the Falwell family, and they're one of the largest Christian universities in the US. The school is huge.
It's still active today. Okay.
Still active today. But my ex-husband graduated from there. He worked there. We had, tons of friends from the university. Um, and it was interesting because while I was living there, I would hear occasionally these very interesting, to say the least,
Oh boy.
stories that would come from the university. Stories
It's not
of
like a Penn State kind of thing, is
I don't
it?
well, just stories of cover-ups and things like that
Ooh.
happening. So like a really intense story. Trigger warning anybody for sexual abuse.
Oh
But
boy. Ooh.
yeah, a girl that I worked with, she was married to a very like senior person at Liberty University, and he would rape and beat her
Holy
all the
shit.
time. She brought it to the church and they said, "Well, that's your husband. You need to stay married to him and work on it and fix your
What the?
marriage."
See,
And
that's where you get me splitting.
yeah, and she was one of the nicest people I've ever met, and she just didn't know what to do, and she got out. She got out, she took care of herself and all of that, but like that was just the tip of the iceberg. When I started hearing things like that about the university, it made me question a lot more. And then over the past few years, so much more has actually come out about Liberty University, which is just mind-blowing to me.
Oh
So
Jesus.
the first thing was their their former president, Jerry Falwell Jr., he resigned in 2020. But there were so many concerns during his time.
Oh
There
boy.
were the way that sexual assault cases were handled, aka the situation I just mentioned.
Hmm.
Lots of cover-ups and things like that. So much lack of like institutional accountability for things that had happened, and there was no leadership transparency. Everything was brushed under the rug. Things were constantly hidden.
Sounds like the
Things were,
Catholic Church.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
pretty close.
Sounds like the Catholic Church.
And I think one of the biggest like I, deceptors um, with Liberty University there was something called the Liberty Godparent Home, which was essentially a home for young, unwed, pregnant moms.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
good.
I
You
mean,
would think it'd be a place for the young women to be able to like have housing, education, counseling.
yeah.
Um,
That sounds positive.
yeah, and the goal of it was to provide support for parenting or adoption.
Okay.
However,
Oh boy. Yeah, there's always a but. Here we
you
go.
know, the girls were very much pushed towards adoption and told how their behavior was so sinful, but if they give their baby up to a family, it's basically washing them of their sins and gives them an
Oh,
opportunity to
tit for tat,
move
technically.
forward. Uh and a big part of it was that they were, taking the kids and adopting them out to like wealthy families in the area.
See
Um
and there you lose me again. It's like, it's like don't force somebody to give up their child because
Yeah. Well,
you know
they would pressure these young girls and they're vulnerable. And if say they were like a Liberty University student,
mhm,
they would tell them either you give up your baby and you can return to school or you're being expelled from the university.
good lord. I mean
So
that really that's like
it was so black and white.
basically it turned what was it, Liberty Godparent Home, you said?
Yeah.
It basically turned something good into a I mean
Horrible.
evil program. I
Yep.
mean, like, I don't want to say demonic, but it's an evil program that you stripped women of their rights.
I believe it's still going. Yeah, it's
That's
still
terrible.
operating. It's
That's
still
terrible.
open. Um it's just really sad because you're getting women at their most vulnerable time using religion as the excuse essentially to
And
get them to give
also,
up their babies just to give them to
but
rich people
not
who are
only
going to pay a
the
lot for them.
religion, their education.
Yeah.
If you don't like
Oh,
it,
if you don't, yeah,
we're kicking you out. That's
yeah.
like, how does
Give
that
up your
work?
baby or lose your
Yeah, give
education.
up or else.
Yep. Yep.
Like it's a punishment
Yeah. Well, that
for.
school had a lot of interesting rules and things like that
I mean,
when
I
it
get
came
it's a
to
Catholic school
it's a
or
Christian
a
university.
Christian
Yeah.
university. Sorry, it's a religious
And I
school,
get
so I
that
get that
too.
their rules are a little bit more
It's very
strict.
interesting.
I mean, like I used to hear stuff about like some of these religious schools that was like no alcohol
Oh
on
yeah,
campus. So I get
that's
that.
Liberty, no alcohol.
No, like boys and girls separate dorms
Yep.
always like. So I got that stuff, and if that's where you wanted to go, and that's what you feel comfortable with, hey, I fully support you. But this type of behavior
Yeah.
is unacceptable
Well,
to my
what I
eyes.
think is funny, and I'm gonna say funny because to me at this point it just is because it's just a statistic now. Liberty University was so like encourage people to get married and have families and all this stuff, and like
Like the government's doing right now.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
whole nother episode.
unfortunately. Sorry, I had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, but like people down there, they get married really young. They have kids young. I got married not like young, but I was early 20s, mid 20s having kids. That's young to me. That's young
Hmm.
to be getting married and having kids. But people down there, that's just what they do. That's what society is like.
Well, I feel like in the
you
South
marry,
that's really big.
yeah, but you marry your like high school or college sweetheart,
Marry your cousin.
not your cousin, but your high school or college sweetheart, and that's the person that you settle down when they have kids. I'm gonna say 95% of the couples that I knew that were married down there are all
Miserable.
divorced.
Or divorced. Now, are they allowed to do that? Because I thought that.
What do you mean? It's Christianity. You're not like locked in.
Well, I know, but
I'm
like
divorced.
I understand. I'm not saying
Yes,
but
you
you're
can
also
you
also
can
live
divorce
New
in a
Jer-
Christian church.
No, I understand that, but like, is it like frowned upon? Like you really should
No,
like
not
push
like
through
that. I
it?
mean, sometimes it depends. Like the story I told you about where they were like, nope, you should really stand by your
Like push
husband's
through it.
side, and
Yeah.
like,
Well, that's what
you
and
know,
that's exactly what I was
it
trying to
depends.
where I was
Yeah,
going
it
with it. Is
depends on
like,
what church you're at and who you're talking to, and if you're even talking to a pastor about it and all this. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, 95% of the couples that I knew that were married that met at Liberty University or were connected to the university are now divorced,
Mm.
which I just think is hilarious.
So not because you got married early. I'm actually asking this as a whole question. Do you find that couples who get married early are higher on the divorce scale because they got married early, or do you think that that is just a incorrect statistic that I've read?
I mean, I don't know what the actual statistic is on it, but I would imagine that like the younger you get married, the higher chance you are for divorce because,
You're stuck with that person.
well, not that. I don't know about everyone, but what I've seen, what I've seen in my days is that your 20s is such a time for development and learning who you are, that who you are when you're 20 to who you are when you're 30 is a different person. Who you are from 25 to 35 is a different person. 30 to 40 is a different person.
40,
but then I would say like 35, 40 and up, you're pretty settled in who you are. And those are the people who I find are like settling down with confidence. Like a lot of my coworkers now are in their early 30s. They're getting engaged or just now getting married. And they're so confident in what they're doing because they feel like they've taken the time to make the right choice. So, which I think is interesting because my ex-husband and I were definitely very different people now.
That's true.
We would not get along
I was
the
gonna say,
same way that we did.
Let me ask you this: if you and your husband met now, would you be interested in him?
I have no idea. I can't even
Fathom
my
that.
yeah, my perception is so skewed from life experience that like I can't even fathom that. So I don't even want to like
Don't you want to
you're gonna make me
placate
throw
it?
up in my mouth a little bit here, a lot. I'm gonna start. Oh my god!
Well-
Sorry, it almost came out. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on.
But you know, I don't want to like completely downplay Christianity because I am a Christian. I go to
so am I.
church. I believe in the Bible and there's a lot of things that I follow. Like, am
I
I
mean,
like a,
I mean,
am
I
I,
pray every day
yeah, am I a,
or every other day.
am I like a, Bible belt type Christian? No way.
But I mean, I said this to you before. Is like I don't understand why there is an attendance policy at church.
Well, some churches, yes, some churches, no.
I mean,
It depends on if churches like are pushing membership and baptism and it just depends on what they're pushing.
I get that.
There's
but
a church.
I can be religious on myself.
Oh,
on
I
Sundays.
agree. I agree.
I can talk to God myself.
I
It's
do
like, I don't
think
need
COVID changed that a bit.
a little bit. I mean, my church went to online services as
Mhm.
well, so I noticed that a little bit. But at the same time, it's like I talk to God on my own time,
Yeah.
my own way, my own thoughts. I mean, that inner voice in my head, I'm sure he's probably hearing to something. I
Mhm.
mean, some of the thoughts are probably like Jesus. But at the same time, it's like I think you can be religious and spiritual in your own time, in your own way, and how you feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah, I pray in moments throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like randomly, I'll be at home, I'll pray if I'm driving, if I'm on the train, like I will take that moment to just sit and like talk to God on my own time. Um I don't consistently attend church. My kids and I try to go every weekend, but honestly, between sports and activities and stuff,
Yeah.
it's a challenge.
Because
But-
because especially with you with the kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's so much going
I
on.
mean, at 8 a.m. on Sunday, you're like, oh, I got to go to the basketball game, and I got cheerleading,
And
then I got
this and that and blah blah blah. But if as often as we can, like we really enjoy going,
Yeah.
because there is so much good, like the community aspect of it. Do I like people? No,
Yeah.
I don't like people.
You know-
I hate people. But there's something about being in a room with people that are listening to the same message, and
That's true.
there's something very special
The
about that.
one thing that I always that I so I don't mind sitting in church, but there's one part of church I hate. It's the greeting minute
Oh,
where you have
turn
to get
around
up
and say hi to your neighbor
say-
and greet him. I hate that too.
I hate that. 'cause
I'm like,
I'm like, first off, I don't know where your
okay,
hand is. I don't know where
okay.
your hand has been.
I'm like,
And
"Oh."
secondly, it's like, hi, I'm totally faking this. I won't remember your name if you told
Nope.
me, and I'm gonna sit back down here. And then like you feel awkward 'cause I always fall on this because not that many people know me anymore at the church
Mm-hmm.
because there's different faces, different people start showing up. So if no one comes over and shakes your hand,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're standing there, you're looking around. It's like, oh, hey, oh hey, yeah, yeah. What about you? No, no. And it's like you shake your own hand. You're
I'm
like,
gonna,
hello,
I'm gonna
Team
high
Money.
five myself and say,
Exactly.
I'm gonna have a good day.
Yeah.
God bless.
It's like I shake my own hand. Hello, Team Money.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're doing good today, and no one wants to shake your hand, but at least you know your hand is clean.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
I mean, that's definitely a part that I don't like, but I do like the music when it's good, if you have a good band. And I do like, the singing parts and blah, blah, blah. But,
I will say my church does a great job on Christmas and Easter because they bring in like an outside band, so it
oh, okay.
has like tubas and trumpets and stuff like it. So it was really like
Okay.
amazing. But also, COVID did change up because I guess not as many people, as we said, are doing donations.
Yeah.
But I'd rather see those donations go towards, as I said, like building a home for somebody
Mm-hmm.
than bringing in a trumpet
Like
player
the
just so I can
charity
be
and
like,
the
hey,
service
look at trumpet
aspect of
player.
it. Yeah. Well, one thing I love about the church that we go to is that the music is good. They have multiple campuses, which I like too. Their kids areas are awesome, but not only that, they do a lot of charity. They have a whole like food kitchen.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
do so much for the community, and they do so much outreach and
Mm.
free counseling and free legal services and all these things for the community that they provide, and they have so many services.
Well,
So that's the one thing I really like, and that's the one thing about Christianity or just religion in general that I do appreciate is like the charity that comes behind it and the
Well,
acts
I
of
was gonna say
service.
my church does a medical program. So like, let's say like you broke your leg and you
Hmm.
needed like crutches, or you needed like the elevated toilet seat or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
They give it
Medical
to you all for
supplies.
free.
That's amazing.
I mean,
See, it's
like I
like,
said, what like there are patients that have, or not patients, but there are members that had like cancer,
hmm,
and they had those medical beds all for free.
wow.
They'll bring it in, they'll set it up, and they'll take it away. Unfortunately, when that person leaves,
Yeah.
but
And
like that kind of
it's
stuff.
not every church, but
No,
if you can find a good church that really cares about the community that they're in, that's so powerful.
see, the problem with that is when there's an upside,
There's
oh,
the
big
downside. There's
downside, a
always a
big
flip of the
old
coin.
downside.
Yes, indeed.
So one of the biggest things that I know has been floating around is the pedophilia.
Oh, that's a big one
That's a
in
big
the
one with
Catholic
priests,
Church. Oh yeah.
and not only the pedophilia, but the covering up of the pedophilia.
Well, I think we've seen now that it's much, much, much bigger than the Catholic
Oh
Church,
yeah,
but
Epstein.
just the yeah, but the prevalence of it though is very scary.
Yeah,
It's terrifying, and just how
it's
much
in everybody.
yeah, and just how much they sweep it all under the rug and they
Hmm.
hide it.
Like you said, the Liberty University,
Yep,
sweep it under the rug.
sweep it under the rug.
If no one knows about it, it's not
Yep,
a problem.
doesn't exist. There's also like some churches in some areas can be very judgmental
Oof.
and really like harshly criticized. Like the churches that I go to have been very welcoming of the gay community, which I think is really important.
Absolutely, they're
But
still
there have been
people.
churches that I've gone to that really harp on it being a sin, and I'm like, I can't be here.
Because it's I really don't think God and Jesus would look upon the LGBTQ community and be like they're not worthy.
Yeah.
Because
If they're
listen,
living
listen,
honestly and as good people.
I'm sorry, some of them do more for the community than some of you straight
Mm-hmm.
people. So
Oh
I
yes.
I mean I would rather live next to a gay couple because at least their yard is gonna look amazing and they'll
Yeah.
probably compliment me on my freaking outfit every day. So
Yeah. I
but
don't know if you heard this growing up, but I would always hear the term Catholic guilt.
yeah, I've heard it. I've never had it because
I
I'm
don't
not
have Catholic
Catholic.
guilt.
So
I mean I was Catholic when I
I've
was younger,
heard
or
it
raised
though.
Catholic when I was younger, and then you know as an adult started going to Christian churches, so it just a shift.
So did
But
you
like
grow up Catholic or no?
yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay,
So I did like first communion,
gotcha,
those sort
gotcha.
of things, but very young age. I
Hmm.
didn't go beyond all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I just think it's like fascinating of like being guilted into being a good person and like having that feeling come from religion, like
Yeah.
you need to do this or you're a bad person and you're going to hell, to more
Yeah,
like a
that's a little
growth
much.
mindset of like do these things so you become better, so you can be this in the eyes of God and blah 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 blah. Like if I got it from that perspective and less of like a punishing perspective,
Yeah.
I'd be more motivated too.
I mean,
It's how the message
I
is
just don't think
delivered.
I just don't think religion is supposed to be a punishment.
No,
It's supposed to be a
I,
learning.
I think God is love, and at the
Yeah.
end of the day, that's what it is.
Religion is learning. You learn from your mistakes. Listen, none of us. I don't care who you are, and if you're listening to this podcast, listen. You've made mistakes in your life,
Hmm.
and God knows every single one of those mistakes. But if you learn and improve upon yourself, that mistake becomes a, you know, a cure. The
It's
next
it's just a
growth.
it's a growth opportunity. It's a, lesson learned. It's like working with kids. I don't want them to get in trouble for every mistake that they make. Mistakes should be learned, like used as learning opportunities to grow and improve. And I feel like in religion it should be the same way. Like we are all going to stumble, we're all going to fall, we're going to make mistakes because we're humans, because we are not perfect, because we ate that darn apple that
The
gave
apple
us
did it.
free will in the first place. um we chose it for ourselves, so now we just need to make sure that we're making the right decisions. And I wish I saw it a lot more in society. And I don't care what anybody believes, I don't care about religion. Like I really, like, none of that stuff matters to me. Just be a decent human being.
Yeah.
That's it. That's literally it. Be nice and be a decent human being.
Listen, whether you're holy, you're skeptical, or you're just here for some amazing conversation between T-Money and Drizzy, I only ask you, don't sneeze on me while you're praying.
Yeah, please
Just-
don't. Just still cover that nose.
Yeah, just cover the mouth. Little hand over the mouth. But either way, Drizzy, it's been a pleasure. And,
As always.
From all of us here at the Don't Sneeze on Me podcast, this is T-Money dropping the mic.
We out.